Hi there and welcome to the 25th row of the 30 days of 30-minute workouts. Now don't worry that we're at 25 and we're almost done. You can pick up from now and you can start at the beginning. You can do whatever you want, to be honest. Today's row, we're going to revisit the one where we do 4.5 minutes at 22 strokes a minute, then 30 seconds fast, okay? And then we're going to do that 6 times over, which will make our 30 minutes. Very simple row, but what it's going to do is it's going to hit that kind of mid-intensity. You're going to be working relatively hard for those 22 strokes a minute, just a little bit more than that 5 out of 10 walking up a flight of stairs intensity, but then those 30 seconds hard, fast, kind of high stroke rate and lots of effort, that's going to really kind of tip it up into mid-intensity, get a chance to back down, tip it up, back down, tip it up, blah, okay? Simple row, but you're going to get a good workout, I promise you, okay? So we have to get into a 4-minute warm-up before we can start today's row, and as always, we have to set up our machines first. Now in a concept 2, that means going straight for the drag factor and setting it to where you want it to be. Now if you don't know where you want it to be, just set it between 4 or 5 for the time being, because too low isn't the problem, too high is the problem. Then you can watch the video I have here on this channel explaining what drag factor is. If you're in a non-concept 2, please just set the resistance so you get a nice feel from the stroke, but you don't have to heave against it to get the thing moving. Next up, if you're able to, please set your monitor to eye height so you don't have to look up and you don't have to look down, both of which will ruin your posture when you're rowing. And finally, if you are able to, then please adjust your foot plates so that you can come to the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position, okay? If you're set too high, it can get a little bit tough to get there. If you're set too low, then the strap's going to cut off the circulation to your toes and you're also going to go scooting past and your backside will fly out from behind you and cats will marry dogs and all this kind of stuff. You just lose a bit of power, that's all. Right, so we're going to do this at right about 20 strokes a minute, and I just want you to think about enough of a push from your feet as though you were standing up from a squat, okay? Because we're going to work on the timing between our feet connecting with the foot plates and our hands connecting the handle to the machine. I will explain as we start. All right, here we go then. In 3, 2, 1, let's begin. So it's a warm-up, so nice and soft to begin for the first minute, while we work on the timing between feet and hands. And what you want is both of them to connect at the same time. So your feet connect to the foot plates, at the same time your hands connect the handle to the machine. Your feet connect to your ankles connect to... So that push from your feet is able to get transferred into the handle if you have straight arms on a forwards tilt and you push at the same time your hands connect the handle to the machine, okay? It's a simple concept, but trust me, it can take ages to get that timing right. What you want to watch out for is pushing too soon, which just your backside scoots away from you and you lose power, or grabbing and pulling too soon, and that way you don't get the leg power in. So now we're a minute in. You can just think about increasing that leg drive. So keep the forwards tilt, arms straight, but push a little bit harder with your feet to take the intensity up to that 5 out of 10, 2K plus 18 pace. So it's almost like you're walking up a constant flight of stairs. Heart rate starts to rise, you're breathing a little harder, but you can still hold a conversation. You just need to let the other person talk for a while so you can catch your breath. So you're working, but not too hard. And in 3 strokes time, we'll put 1 foot on the ground. 2 more strokes, 1 more. So here we go, so unbuckle, put 1 foot on the ground, continue rowing. Try and find a good balance with that foot that's still on the ground. You might want to come onto your toes as you come forwards and then rock back onto your heel as you come backwards. But the point here is that you should still have a good technique, and it just opens up your flexibility a little bit having only 1 leg in. 1 more here, let's swap feet. 1 in, 1 out. Crikey, I'm just doing nursery rhymes today. Any minute now I'll start doing 3 Little Pigs or you know, it only dawned on me a few months ago what this little piggy went to market meant. I always thought he went shopping. I'm so naive. Anyway, sorry, more about rowing. Last stroke here, more both feet in, tighten up your straps, straight legs, row with your back and arms. So swing from a forwards to a backwards lean by swinging over your hips, tilting over your hips, and then pull in your arms right after you start that swing. So swing, pull, then push, swing. Swing, pull, push, swing. It's really important you get used to this timing. Okay, let's roll to the front with straight arms and a forwards tilt, and just push out lightly from the front. Because all I want you to do is concentrate on this position as you drive. Arms straight, forwards tilt, and trying to get that timing right between feet and hands. So if you push too hard here, it all falls apart. So I just want you to work on timing. Get in, hold that position, push with the legs, get the timing right. Last one. Oh, there we go, right. So I'm going to do what I've been doing so far for pretty much all the videos in this series in 2022, and I'm going to replay the video from 2021. And then I will join you in half an hour for the cool down and some stretching. So enjoy your half-hour row. Are we okay? Yeah, I think we seem okay. So we're going to start off 22 strokes a minute, 2K plus 15 to 16 seconds. And then, yeah, and I'll talk you through what's going on. Okay, might as well get into it before I get any colder. Here we go then. In 3, 2, 1, and we're off. The 22 is that slightly awkward stroke rate for me. It's probably my least comfortable. Yeah, I'm nowhere near it right now. Let's speed up a tiny bit. That's better. Don't know why, it always takes me a few strokes to realise just how fast 22 actually is. I think I was down at 18 for the first 3 strokes there. Sorry. But there we go. 22 strokes a minute, and I want to be around about 2 minutes per 500 meter pace to be 2K plus 15. And again, don't worry too much if you surf between plus or minus 1 stroke a minute or 1 second. If you were, say, 3 or 4 strokes a minute out or seconds out, then I'd be a bit more concerned. But especially for the first couple of minutes of a session, if you don't lock right into rate and pace, it's not too big of a issue. Now, when we do the 30-second speed ups, I want you to try as much as possible to get back in to your stroke rate and pace as quickly as possible. The point isn't to spend the first minute of the 22 strokes a minute recovering from the sprint by slowing down. The point is to let yourself gradually settle down over the course of that 4.5 minutes before then having to go into it again. Oh, my watch keeps on shouting at me. So that's what keeps the intensity up there for this row. If you just slow right down so that you're fully recovered by like 45 seconds in after the sprint, it's not quite the training effect that this is meant to give. It might take you 4 or 5 strokes to properly get into rate and pace, especially the first time that we go through this sprint, but just do the best you can to lock back into it as quick as possible. Now remember, when it comes to the sprint, just think about pushing harder with your legs to increase the power going in. Your arms will take care of themselves if you push harder with your legs. But I'll talk more about that after this sprint. Okay, so we're almost there in 3, 2, 1, let's go sprinting. So, push with the legs. Get the stroke rate up, get the power up, and try to get close to 2K pace. 3, 2, 1. Back to 22s. So you will feel just that little bit more, what's the word? Pushed to keep your pace and rate, but let it just settle itself down. And hopefully you'll start to feel your body just ease back after that 30-second sprint. This is why consistency of technique is so good. Because all you have to do is think about that push from the legs in order to get your rate and pace up. And especially on a session like today, that really does mean trying to concentrate on that powerful body position at the start of the stroke with the forward lean and arms straight. And then pushing with your legs while holding those straight arms and forward lean should mean that the power surges, flows into the machine. And then when you just push in more power from the legs, you don't have to do anything different in order to increase pace. It's all just governed from that leg drive, that hang off the handle that you get when you push with your legs in the right position. Just feels like a stronger hang when you push harder. All right, so we've got another minute at this stroke rate and pace before we bump up again, and hopefully you got the intensity right so you could just feel it rise into that mid intensity coming out of the 30 seconds last time, but you should have settled down ready for the next one, which is just about to happen. In 3, 2, 1, let's go sprinting. More of a push from your legs. You should hear the tone of your machine increase as you let that power flow from your legs to your arms to the machine. 3, 2, 1. Back to 22s. Whew. This is a really good session for many reasons. Physically, obviously, because you get the double whammy of the low rate fitness boosting row and then the powerful sprints, but mentally it's just a lot of fun. If you are looking for a row that gives you a mix of intensities, doesn't leave you absolutely exhausted, but still takes a lot of focus, this is a perfect one to come back to. Especially if you're looking for something to clear your mind. This one is great. Came into today's session with like a whirlwind of a to-do list still running through my head. Between work, even making this video, but also trying to shuffle around my studio a little bit and trying to build a soundproof room for my drum kit in the corner. I think it's probably debris from that is sitting somewhere on the rail of this machine, which is why I keep bumping. But it is just funny how your brain can latch onto something, whether it's a moment of conflict
in your day, or something you are trying to problem solve, or just something that you're really excited about, that stuff can really bounce around your head through the day and through the night. But then you sit down to a row like this, where you have to concentrate to hold your pace. There's not much room for anything else. Well, not for me anyway. Then I'm a very simple soul, so all right, 20 seconds to go until the next one. Whew. Right, how many? 2, 1, here we go, let's go sprinting. Now keep your posture nice and powerful at the front. Try not to collapse your back forwards past that 1 o'clock in a hunt for more length. Last one. Back to 22s. We're halfway there. Bon Jovi. Whew. I wonder if one day John Bon Jovi's in his home private gym. He's like, I'm going to go for a row today. But let's see if anyone's made a YouTube video for me to row along with. So he types in row along. And suddenly he's got me singing at him. You'd be like, no, I can't escape. I don't have a Jersey accent. Joyzy, I can't escape this living on a prayer. Don't think that's Jersey either. Not making fun of them at all. I used to be a huge Bon Jovi fan in my teens. Bon Jovi, Van Halen, and Mr. Big were like my, what do you call it, trifecta? No. Triptych of music. So I've got a lot of fond memories of Bon Jovi and that song, so I bring it up out of fondness. I'm not taking the mickey out of him. Oh, so in the last sprint I was talking about posture and the importance of keeping not only your posture nice and powerful, but also not over leaning at the front when sprinting in the hopes of getting more length out of the chain. It's really easy to think that if you go right to the front, that you'll go faster. But the truth is, there's just a load of power leaks ahead if you do that. If you slide too far forwards, shins past vertical, then not only do you lose time with the extra compression, but that extra compression has a tendency to kind of spring your backside out from underneath you. Same with if you lean, dip with your back. Get power leaks everywhere. Too many to mention as we're about to hit the next sprint in 3, 2, 1. Let's go sprinting. Remember, arms nice and straight as you push legs into the machine. Think about pushing the machine away from you rather than thinking about pulling on the handle. Pulling happens at the back. 2, 1. Was about a second off there, pace-wise. But yeah, drive out the front with straight arms. Don't grab early and fight the power. Fight the power. Because not only are you wasting power that should be flowing from your legs into the machine by fighting against it with your biceps, not only are you wasting potential arm power that you want to put in at the back of the stroke. So straight pull, straight pull, straight pull. But also, I see so many rowers who grab early at the front of the machine with golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, and then if they are also the type that finish really high with the handle, that's when it really comes into bite for that tennis and or golfer's elbow. I'm not saying that my finish is perfect. I do have a tendency, when I lose concentration, to finish with my elbows too low and my hands slightly up, kind of like this. Especially at power, I'll tend to do that. But when I'm concentrating, I'll have that tiny flare out of my elbows, which keeps my wrists a bit more flat. And so if you do develop tennis elbow or golfer's elbow when rowing, once you've had a rest period, iced it and things, when you do come back to rowing, I recommend first off dropping the drag factor so that you're less likely to want to grab early and fight the handle, fight the weight of the machine. And then you can concentrate on straight arms. Because if you get it wrong with a low drag factor, it feels like you're rowing through air. And then when it comes to the finish, really think about the sternum height finish of the handle and wrists nice and flat. Maybe with a slight outwards flare of your elbows to make that happen. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go sprinting. Whew. I think I was half a second out there. Sorry. Now, just by thinking about my posture and back and handle height, I've clawed back the pace. Finish. Back to 22s. Clawed back the pace that I'd lost when I was just a bit more mindless about the sprints of my arm or arms the last time round. Okay, so we've got 4 minutes of this 22 section left, and then a final 30-second sprint, and then we're done. So it's up to you how you want to finish. Do you want to hold the same pace that you've done all of these at, in the hopes that if you set your monitor to 5-minute intervals and you think that you are holding the right pace for the 22s and the sprints all the way through, you can compare all 6 intervals. Or do you just let this one fly? Take your last 30 seconds up to as fast as you can. Now you can do that while still rate capping to 30 strokes a minute, or you can do what they call a fly and die, where you increase stroke rate and power to the absolute maximum you can achieve right from the start of that 30 seconds, and then hope that you hold it to the end rather than your pace and stroke rate dying on you. Remember, getting the stroke rate up comes on both ends of the stroke. You push harder and therefore a faster leg drive, but you also get those hands away in the same rhythm they come in at. So a faster drive phase will mean a faster finish of your arms due to that more powerful hang off the handle. So you mirror the pace the handle comes in at and get it away and over your knees before your knees bend. And that way your forward tilt over your hips should be correct too. Right, here we go then. In 3, 2, 1. Final sprint. Let's go. I'm going to hold 30 if I can, but I'm putting in as much of a leg drive as I can. 4, 3, 2, 1. And just at the end, tiny bit of sweat went in my eye.
Well, I mean, you go into that one thinking those 30 seconds, they're not going to be that much, but they do add up, don't they? Especially with that 22 strokes a minute being a little bit past that walking up the stairs easy. Or you start to everything starts to feel a little bit laboured after running at the 15-minute mark, doesn't it? Anyway, shall we get ourselves into a 2-minute cool down? Hopefully you've managed to have a quick drink, you've maybe wiggled your backside, eased the pressure off your sit bones, off your glutes, and we can get into this. And we'll do this around about 20 strokes a minute, that kind of 5 out of 10 pace again, basically your warm-up pace. That would have been a quicker way to have said that. So here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And remember, do try to keep a good technique here, even if you're a little bit fatigued, tired after that session. Maybe your technique started to break down a little bit towards the end of the row. So use the cool down as a way to try and drill back best practices again. I know well, recently as a whole, let alone when I'm working hard, but I've kind of gone back into that elbows down thing where I come and my elbows are more down. And so my wrists end up a little bit kind of bunny-like, kind of a bit rotated, rather than having that slight flare out of the elbows in order to keep wrists flat. And then that helps with that power connection and transfer through the big muscles in your back, rather than my forearms and shoulders. So make sure to ease off the pace over the next 33 seconds if you haven't already. I was too busy talking technique that I forgot to ease off the pace. But yeah, technique really is just so important. It's not me being a rowing bore. It's about power, it's about efficiency, it's about injury prevention, and it's about enjoying rowing, to be honest. Because when you can row powerfully and not getting injured, and you feel yourself getting fitter, you enjoy it more, trust me. Right, that's the cool down done. You of course don't have to stop cooling down, you can continue cooling down, or you can follow me and do some stretching. If you don't have time to stretch, crikey, take a breath, John. If you don't have time to stretch, then please at least stretch your quads, your hamstrings and your glutes if you get the chance. Please not in the shower though. I don't want you to slip and fall over, okay, because that would be bad, all right? Or you can join Stretchy John. He'll take you through some guided stretching if you have access to space, stretching mat or something. Or I will take you through how to do it on the machine if you don't have space. So put your feet back into the machine, keep your straps loose, so you've got a nice angle between your feet and your legs. Nice straight legs, hands in the air, and fold forwards. You really should feel that pivot point as you fold forwards. You really should feel like it's a hinge closing, okay? As you fold forwards. And like coming into this forwards position, you really good. I mean, if you don't feel it in your hamstrings, you're just, one of your body angles is just not quite right, okay? I think I'm gonna have to do a cut before I go into the glutes because the battery on one of my lights is dying because I can see the light going, there you go, and it just turned off. So there's going to be a tiny jump cut as I go change the battery, and then you'll see me go into doing the glutes. Bonk! As if by magic. Right, put one leg up on the rail, bring your other foot over so that your heel is in the kind of the crook of your knee. Bring that knee across your body so you have a straight line between your face, your knee and your foot. Hold it in place with that arm, and then if you want to hold on to the back of the machine, row machine for stability, you can, as you then rotate round into it. Oh mama, I got some tight glutes tonight. I think the high rocks training I did yesterday, again, it's all about the glutes. You just don't realize how all these squats and burpee broad jumps and wall balls and all this stuff really does just get you right in the glutes, right in the glutes. And then there's an element of running that I'm having to do as well. Which actually I say that as though I'm not enjoying it, but I am. Let's change legs. I do enjoy running, but there's definitely, right, so change legs, make sure and do the same thing. There's a difference between running at a nice, again, 5 out of 10, pace, like going for a poodle, and then actually trying to run fast 1Ks. I'm aiming for, it's not fast, but I'm aiming for like 4.5 minute 1Ks right now. So, yeah, I mean, some of the guys that are doing this are doing like 3:15 1Ks. So I'm not fast by any means, but I'm coming from a point where I just row, I don't run. So trying to train up the speed of those 1Ks takes quite a lot of work. Right, stand up next to the machine. Hopefully you have space to be able to do this. Hold on lightly onto the monitor, flick one foot up behind you, and then hold that heel up against your backside, giving enough of a pull back that you can feel that zing, that kind of warmth as you stretch through your quad. Remember, try and keep a decent posture here just to make sure that it's your quad you're stretching rather than your hip flexors or that you're wrenching your knee or whatever. And let's change legs. As I like to, oh no, he's gonna fall. As I like to keep on saying, oh, he's gonna fall again. Come on, you can do it third time lucky, come on. Yeah, hold on to the upper part of your foot, like up at the bridge of your foot rather than down at your toes or up too high on your ankles or something, because you're wanting to stretch your quads here. Oh, he's gonna fall, oh, good grief. You want to stretch your quads here. You don't want to be stretching your toes or the ligaments up the front of your leg. Answers on the postcard as to why my balance is so rubbish. Oh, how many times can I almost fall over? I mean, can I blame it on the fact that I'm trying to look into a camera while doing this? Probably not. Looking into a camera should probably make me more stable. Anyway, let's do hip flexors next. So one knee on the ground, one foot in front of you. Have a 90-degree angle with both, so your knee is above your foot and your foot is behind your other knee. I know that doesn't make much sense. Up on your toes. It makes sense if you're watching this. And then push the hip that has the knee on the ground forwards. Yeah, so podcast people, I really hope you understand what I'm on about. However, Matthew Brown, apologies if I've forgotten your second name. It's you know that way you sometimes get a, is that the right thing? But Matthew Brown, one of the Facebook people, and obviously someone who watches these videos, has made me a poster, a Stretchy John poster. It's basically he's taken screen grabs of Stretchy John up in the top corner and turned it into a poster which kind of guides you through all the different stretches that I do in this section. So what I might start doing is posting that. Change legs, so that podcast people, you can quickly jump onto maybe rowalong.com/stretch, maybe put it there. If you want to see just a quick image of what it is that I'm going through. I haven't done that yet. I haven't actually finished because I need to quickly do some branding on it, put the RowAlong logo and stuff on it, so it doesn't exist quite yet. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great way to finish that sentence, wasn't it? I'll try, and if I get time to do it tonight, in fact, even if I just do a really quick bodge version, I'll throw it up there so that you can see it, because there's no point me talking about it and then not actually putting it up there and you're like, well, hang on, when are you going to put it up there? So I'll try and do that, okay. Right, let's move on to forearms next. So put your hands together in front of your face, push them together, which should actually activate your pecs as you do that, but then push your hands down in front of you, and that'll probably take the effort off your pecs. And then it puts it into your fingers because you're pushing your hands together, and your wrists and underneath your forearms. I certainly feel it right under here, okay? So like wrists and there when I do this. So, yeah. I'm really not doing well. So yeah, that's twice I did that. Now again, I've been using this Powerball thing quite a lot, and it's weird how it really can take it out of your forearms. So I don't know whether my forearms are actually just predisposed to be a little bit on the kind of we need stretched side, but definitely right now I can feel that. It's funny, it's the two hacks. I'm quite a believer in kind of just trying to squeeze things in when regularly you're doing something else. So like when I'm washing my hands after going to the toilet, as I'm washing my hands, I'll do it as an isometric squat. Okay, so I'm just gonna get into a squat position and kind of hold it there so that rather than standing up straight, why not? I've got 30 seconds to wash my hands, I might as well just do an isometric squat. Let's do shoulders next. Hands straight out in front of you, bring it across your body. And then use your other arm to kind of create that stretch across your body. But yeah, so I'll do that. I'll do the same. I'll do an isometric squat when I'm washing my hands. As I'm brushing my teeth, I'll do transverse abdominals, which is basically when you suck in your stomach as though you're trying to touch your belly button to your back. Okay, sounds strange, but you're really trying to kind of suck in your stomach. I do that while I'm brushing my teeth, and my toothbrush is timed for 2 minutes. It buzzes because it's an electric one. So I know I'm getting a 2-minute ab workout while I'm brushing my teeth. And then as I am going about my business in the morning, making coffees and kids' lunches or whatever, I use the breathe, what's it called again? Power breathe thing. Other arm, power breathe breathing device. Kind of it adds resistance to as you're breathing in, so you have to like really kind of fight against it slightly, and that improves kind of lung performance or whatever. And then the last one I do is this Powerball thing, which is if I'm in traffic, or if if I'm driving and then I'm stopped in the car, I'll pick up the Powerball and use that to just kind of pass the time. I drive an automatic car, so I figure that this is okay. Of course, if any of you are police, then I don't do this. Because I don't know whether that counts as not paying due care and attention to the road. Is that the same as eating? I don't know. Again, answers in the postcard. I don't know if it's... I wouldn't have thought it's unsafe if I'm just stopped at lights and I'm just like this. Well, I do worry that someone might look into the car and think I'm making rude hand gestures towards them, so... But yeah. Find time to do things. I could always swap. I could do like the transverse abdominals every time I'm in traffic. Let's do our biceps next while I'm ranting. Hands behind your back as though you're flying. Rotate your thumbs outwards. And that should stretch, lengthen the long head of your bicep and give your biceps a nice little stretch. Yeah, so is there anything I could swap? Well, I can't do Powerball while I'm washing my hands. I suppose I could do it while I was brushing my teeth, but that might be a little bit like rubbing your head and patting your stomach at the same time. But then, hang on, I'm a drummer. I'm supposed to have coordination. Good coordination. If I can't do that and brush my teeth at the same time, hang on, could I? Yeah. No. Oh, how strange. Let's do triceps next. Hands up in the air, down your back. And then stretch, and then use your other arm to just kind of help that tricep kind of a bit more vertical, give it a little stretch. Yeah, could I do it while I was making coffee? Unlikely. Yeah. Well, maybe, my job, so if you didn't know, I'm an editor making TV programs. That's why making these videos is relatively kind of second nature to me. So there's quite a few moments where I'm just sitting there watching a render bar. So you kind of put on an effect, the computer has to render it for you to be able to see it. So I could always just take my Powerball into work with me, and every time I hit render, just have a quick whoosh. Could do that.
could do that anyway. But yeah, so all I'm trying to say, sorry, I've just swapped arms, podcast people. All I'm trying to say is that if you can find moments in your life where you're normally where you can squeeze something else in, even if it's like sitting watching television, then you can do stuff during that as well. You can do like pretty much everything I just said. You could do just by watching TV. You could just do an isometric squat through the ad breaks, like every advert. Do an isometric squat, and then you could change and do something else. Just mix things up. Especially if you're short on time, then it makes sense to kind of look at where you can add these little things in. What you don't want to do is get stressed about it and think, oh, everything's getting on top of me. I haven't done my TVAs and whatever. Anyway, right, sorry. Where did we go today? This lends itself to wanting to be the hashtag for today, doesn't it? Time hacks. Yeah, you think that would work? If you use just hashtag time hacks or hacks for time for hacks? I don't know. Something about time and hacks. Just as a way to let me know you made it this far through the video, you can leave a comment. I enjoyed this. I hope that's what you write. You could do hashtag time hacks or something. Hashity hag. Hashity tag. Right, sorry. Who knows where my brain's gone tonight. Tonight, in case you care, I'm having salmon and broccoli pasta. Last night was sausage pasta, tonight is salmon and broccoli pasta in a nice creamy sauce made with Philadelphia, the garlic Philadelphia. Use that. A little bit of corn flour, a little bit of milk, some onions, some mushrooms, stir it all together. Yum, yum, yum. Garlic, a little bit of nutmeg as well, just in case. And then some salmon, pasta, broccoli. Yum. And that's it. So I'm going to go. Is that all right with you? Do you mind? Just quickly on today, I just want to say thank you so much for being part of this. It really does mean so much to me that you let me be part of your life. You have no idea how helpful it's been to me to know that you're on the other side of this camera. So I just want to say thank you. It is, after all, Thanksgiving today. So I want to make sure. I know this comes out on Friday and that's going to be a bit confusing, but I record these the day before so I can get all the editing done. It comes out the next day. So I know, yeah. So it's Black Friday. So go. Last tip before I go, and I'll say goodbye after this. Black Friday, if you need a television and you see one that's 50% off, you've saved 50%. If you don't need a television and you buy one that's 50% off, you have wasted 100% of your money. Okay? That's the best way to think about that kind of stuff, all right? There we go. So thank you so much for putting up with me. I will see you in a future video. Until then, take care, be well. Bye-bye.